Is that a bird? Is that a plane? Or is that a blue mouse? Well, whatever it is, let's get it. Oh yeah, I forgot. I actually don't use Aloy on a regular basis. So in this video, I'll be explaining to you guys why I don't do that. So basically speaking, I am gonna try my best to give you guys some examples of why Aloy is considered one of the worst character in the game and why I would never use her on a regular basis. There is a reason behind that. And in this video, I will try my best to give you the best example of possibles by giving you a lot of website references and basically giving you some other tips as well, so you will be able to know why she is considered as one of the worst character in the game. So basically speaking, she was introduced in the game in 2.1 and in 2.2. In 2.1 she was basically given to many of the other PlayStation players. So basically people who plays on PlayStation were to get her first, and then many of the other players such as myself who uses PC or many other player who uses mobile phone, they got it second. Okay, so obviously from that point of perspective, there is obviously a certain type of understatement on other platforms that PlayStation is somehow better than others. That is a narrow-minded view, which the many okay, some of the Japanese company uses, which is why I'm gonna say, okay, those of you does that, don't do that, please. Okay, I do not know. All I know that PlayStation is from Japan. Anyway, other than that, her constellation is 0. She can never be higher than the constellation which you can see here. None of the other constellation are marked as different something else. Rather, the only thing which is shown here that this person is not gonna be is not doesn't has the right to be shine up in the sky. So basically speaking, even though the constellation thing is here, it is actually not active. Okay, now another thing that you must need to realize that when it comes to this character Aloy, she is overall not the best DPS and not the best support character as well. Now in case if you're wondering, okay, then if such is so, then why do people still use her? Well, actually many people actually doesn't use her, and there is a reason behind that, which I will be explaining in just a moment. Now before doing anything, do understand that you should not use Genshin.gg as a good reference, because that is a bullpoop website. Okay, all of the tier lists there are actually bullpoop. Okay, I cannot say SHWET shit, otherwise YouTube will not recommend my video to other people. So don't go to this website called Genshin.org. Rather go to other websites such as game.co. Okay, game8.co. There you can see the things a lot better. Especially you will see another thing is there is no C6 Aloy, only C0. Basically speaking, C0 Aloy is the only thing. There is no such thing as C6. Now in case if you're wondering, is C ranking C is an understatement for Aloy? Yes, because there is another website which is called spiralabyss.org, and there you can basically scroll down and see that there is this tier list where basically it shows of the 10,000 players who plays this game, only 0.6% of the player can actually uses Aloy. Okay, even though 99% of the players actually have them, only the uses of Aloy is 0.6%. It is even lower than Ember. Basically speaking, Ember is a better option than Aloy. Okay, that much bad of this Aloy character is. Now not only that, you will say another thing about this website is that when it comes to the weapon related stuff, it is not even recommended which type of weapon or the artifact set is used on Aloy. Okay, like that much of a bad character this Aloy is. So obviously you can get a better idea of why I'll never use Aloy in the future, or even now. Even now I do not use her. Okay, now let's talk about the main weapon and the artifact set for her. Now even though she is a useless character in this game, obviously this is a review, and because this is considered as a review, I will try my best to give you the best example of which type of artifact sets and weapon is considered the best one for her. Now when it comes to the weapon, the best weapon for her is considered as the Thundering Pulse. Now in case if you're wondering, okay, why is it that Thundering Pulse, I do not know, only the game mechanics know. The game mechanics basically shows that the Thundering Pulse is the most useful weapon on this character. So basically speaking, let's say if you have Aloy but you do not have Yoimiya, or let's say Child, then obviously giving this character, the Thundering Pulse is a very good option. Okay, now when it comes to the artifact sets, the best artifact set for her is considered as the 2 pieces of Gladiator Finale and 2 pieces of Blizzard Share. Okay, now when it comes to the main stat and the substat, the main stat of these artifact set are considered in the following manner, such as attack percentage, cryo damage bonus, and critical rate, or let's say critical damage. Okay, now when it comes to the substat, the best substat for her is attack percentage, critical damage, and critical rate. Okay, and in case if you do not have the Thundering Pulse weapon, then what is the other alternative of weapon you can use? Okay, the other alternative weapon you can use is the Skyward Harp or the Rust. Now when it comes to the weapon called the Rust, the main thing about Rust is you do not aim at the enemy. If you aim at the enemy, then overall the damage percentage of the Rust gets decreased, whereas if you were to, let's say, aim at the enemy without aiming at them, let's say this is the aim function, and if you were to hit the enemy without aiming at them like this, then only then the Rust weapon will become very useful weapon on Aloy. Okay, now when it comes to Aloy, there is another thing that I need to tell you. Okay, now when it comes to her talent, okay, the attack, rapid attack, or let's say normal attack, is basically normal. There is nothing incredible about it. It is the same as any other characters. Okay, now when it comes to this second one, which is called elemental skill, her elemental skill is almost useless. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me show you. So basically speaking, when she uses her elemental skill, it produces these mini bombs, and if these mini bombs were to hit the enemy, only then these mini bombs will explode. Now the problem with these mini bombs are that in order for you to actually get these equipped on the enemy, or let's say if you want these bombs to actually hit the enemies, then it is not the best way to do so. In order to make sure that these bombs actually hit the enemy, you must need to have at least the following characters. Okay, if you have, let's say, Kazuha or Venti or Sucrose, only these 3 characters will be able to help you in that regards, because what this character does is provide you with a suction. Okay, basically it sucks all the enemy into a same place and make them take damage. Okay, so from that perspective, if you do not have Kazuha, Venti or Sucrose, your chances of actually using these bombs, these cryo bombs, to hit the enemy is gonna be extremely low to even none. Okay, now let's talk about her other talents as well. Okay, when it comes to this one, okay, this one is basically a useful one. At least this one will be able to hit the enemy and will be able to do damage, but the thing is, overall, since our damage output is overall low, even if you were to use this, I don't think it's gonna be that much useful, but at least it is better than this one, this elemental skill, because this elemental skill is actually very useless. Okay, now these two are basically other things that if you were to just upgrade her, you will eventually get this. But out of all of these talent, the most interesting talent, if you have her, okay, is gonna be this one. Okay, so let's say you have low amount of foul raw meat, or let's say chill meat, then the next best option for you to is actually make sure that the character Aloy is on your party. Okay, so whenever the Aloy character is on your party, you can sneak up on the, let's say, birds, or let's say mammal that will produce a lot of meat. Okay, you can go to them and then use other characters ultimate or elemental skill to actually use them. Okay, for example, if I were to go towards these pigeons, this pigeon will not get scared. Okay, now once I go near Timmy and then I use my elemental skill, at least I got one. Okay, that was a bad on me, I got extremely slow, but at least the birds were not afraid of me and I was able to get near the birds in a very short distance. So obviously from that perspective, Aloy is a very good option. Now in case if you're wondering, okay, so Aloy must be good for hunting, right? Now the thing is, actually no, Aloy is not the best for hunting. There are actually other alternatives for Aloy. when it comes to hunting for fowl. Okay, for example, Diona, when you basically long press on Diona when you near a lot of birds or pigeons, okay, and you just long press the elemental skill, it will produce these arms, and whenever it produces these arms, it basically go towards the birds and basically captures them. Okay, now since there are no birds nearby at the moment, which is why I was unable to do so. Wait, there is a one nearby. Now let me show you. See, at least Diona can hit up to 5 birds at a time. Okay, so that is basically the main reason why Diona is actually better than Aloy. Okay, now this is the thing that many people actually knows about, which is why even in when it comes to hunting, Diona is considered as a better option than Aloy. Okay, so overall we are now at the final conclusion of the video regarding Aloy. Is Aloy worth the investment? The short answer was no, and the long answer is still no. Why? Because Aloy was certainly introduced in the game. Her constellation is 0. Her weapon is something that can be only available in PlayStation. So obviously that is a massive bummer for any players actually. Why make it only available in PlayStation exclusive only and not for other platforms as well? That doesn't make sense. Okay, not only that, there is another game made by MiHoYo, which is called Honkai Impact 3rd. Now Honkai Impact 3rd is basically a prequel to Genshin Impact, so obviously there are a lot of similar characters both in Honkai Impact and Genshin Impact as well. But when you were to consider the fact that so when you consider the fact that the character which is called Asuka from Evangelion anime is introduced in the Honkai Impact 3rd game, she is still considered even now. Okay, even in the latest version right now, which is January 2022. Okay, she is still considered as a useful character because her lances. Okay, Asuka has a thing which is called lance. The weapon are called lances, and these lances basically blocks a certain enemy attack pattern. So basically speaking, from that perspective, obviously Asuka is far better when compared with Aloy. Okay, both of them are from a different world other than the game, a collaboration event. At least if you were to watch this Asuka's tutorial, or let's say gameplay, you will be able to see that she had her own story, whereas this character called Aloy, she doesn't have her own story, neither does she has her own weapon, and she has no specialty of her own. Basically what I'm saying, it is MiHoYo's fault for making Aloy bad. Okay, I'm not saying Aloy is a bad character in general, rather Aloy became bad because MiHoYo made her introduced in the game in a bad manner. Okay, so obviously there is no such thing as a bad character, only the developer of a company decides whether a character is gonna be good or bad. Okay, so from that perspective, this is my conclusion. A total replacement.